It's your girl Ken. I'm back with another video. So today I'm gonna be doing a get ready with me and then like a little chit chat kinda sorta because I have not like just actually sat up here and talked to y'all in like forever. So this video is 9 out of 10 gonna be raw, unedited, not like I'm probably not gonna edit this at all. Other than like put my little intro outro up in here. And yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be. But cause I ain't gotta sit I sit up here and talk to y'all, but I don't be wanting to sit up here and like actually listen to myself. Dang, that like made my eyes hurt. I don't actually be wanting to sit up here and listen to myself when I be editing. So 9 out of 10 it's just gonna go up raw and unfiltered. So if it's long, it's gonna be long regardless because I'm doing my makeup. But yeah. But I'm getting ready for a party. My coworker just not just she just turned 20, so she's having a party tonight that she invited all of us to. So me and my coworkers are going. It's like a old school like glam type of theme, like a 20s Renaissance. I don't really think that's what it is though. But it's like a Met Gala, so it's like red carpet. You know what I'm saying? So I have this really cute black formal gown. What? I have like this really cute black formal gown that I'm wearing. I really wish my hair was not in braids at the moment, but hey. We also gonna kind of like listen to my playlist a little bit. I don't know if y'all can really hear it, but like right now, Jada by Drake is playing. Like anytime I get ready, I be playing music. That's really why I don't be talking to y'all. But I just turned it on low, so hopefully I don't get copyrighted. Cause yeah. But guys, like I just feel like it's so much to catch up on. I should have went live on Instagram too, but I just feel like it's so much that I gotta catch you guys up on, like for real. So number one, okay. So let me tell you, I just be mixing all my makeup together because why is this over here and that over there? Like this is too much. Number one being, I'm sorry. Number one being, I just graduated. If you've been rocking with me for a long time, you know there was a point in time I got on here and I was talking to y'all when I was doing my makeup. Try like my last get ready chit chat with me type of ordeal. But like the last chit chat get ready with me, I was telling y'all like college was not, it wasn't, college was not giving it to me. Okay, what? Don't make me upset. Don't upset me. For real, because I'm gonna get upset. First of all, I used to have to do this in high school because my eyebrows be tweaking, bruh. But yes, the last time I talked to y'all, like y'all, I really did not know if I was gonna get through it. I was like, it was COVID during that time, and I was real life just going through some things. And I'm not saying I wasn't going through nothing after that, cause I'm telling you, I definitely was. Um, but yeah, I definitely did not know if I was graduating. I was like, girl, look, I'm gonna drop out. I can't. I can't. And I don't know if I ever told y'all, but like I never really wanted to go to school. Um, I wanted to go to cosmetology school because that's what I'm good at doing. I'm good at doing hair. I'm good at doing makeup. That was, my hustles, especially during COVID. Like the girls was getting their makeup done. Where they was going, girl, I don't know. I can't tell you where they was going, baby. But all I know is they was getting their makeup done, and that's just what it was. But I wasted plenty of time. Okay, SZA. This is like one of my favorite songs. You're relentless. I don't need rent. She be lying, cause I need the rent. Give it to me, baby. Okay, I'm all off topic, but y'all. So yeah, I had like I don't know. It was just a lot. Like COVID really. I think COVID really took the cake for me. Like my first semester, I had a really hard time adjusting. At the time, I stayed on campus. I had roommates. I had suite mates. And I was just having a very hard time, like, just adjusting to it. Like, my first semester, I did not have a car. Um, so that was a thing. Like, not having a car was a really big deal. Why do I look like this on this camera? That really upsets me because it makes my face look so fat on camera, and my face don't even, like, my face is fat, but it makes it look so fat on camera. I hate that. I'm sorry. I keep having to bring that up, but I had a very hard time adjusting my freshman semester. When I first got to Southern, I didn't know nobody. Like, I knew people from, like, back home, but a lot of them actually ended up not even staying for real. Like, it was literally just me. Like, but I ain't had no choice. Like, my mom was like, once you go here, you're not transferring. So if this is where you going, this is where you staying. And that's just what it was. But like I said, like, I wanted to go to college, but I didn't. Like, after high school, I knew school was something that was not for me. Like, truly, y'all. I was like, school is not for me. I can't get into it for real. And all this just to get into college, all this ACT and all this stuff, and still, I don't test well. Like, I did, what the, telling you, wrong unfiltered. Yeah, like, I did not adjust to college well. Like, it was not for me. I was like, that really wasn't what I wanted to do. I enjoyed doing hair. I enjoyed doing, makeup and stuff. Like, y'all been rocking with me from the beginning. Or, like, even if y'all came from, like, my old channel, because I did have an old channel. And I used to do hair and makeup over there, too. Like, that was what I loved to do. But she wanted me to get an education because I wanted to own my own business. Because I knew, after I got my first job, y'all, I knew I did not want to, I knew I didn't want to work for nobody. Like, having to be on somebody else's clock, I hate being on somebody else's clock. I hate, like, I have to move on your time, and if you don't like me, because it is managers, like, if they don't like you, they will fire you just because they don't like you. They will find a reason to fire you just because they don't like you, and I don't like people having that upper hand or that type of authority over me. I just, like, no. I'd rather, like, do stuff on my own time. So, like, she knew what I wanted to do, so she wanted me to go to school to do that, which is, like, that's cool and all, but I guess, like, college horror stories, you get scared. You be like, people be flunking out. You be like, is college really that hard? Like, college is hard, but, like, it wasn't that hard for me. But, but yeah, like, it's just like, that's what scared me the most. Like, people be failing, your GPA dropped too low, and it's over with for you, and then, it be stuff going on with people. Like, it's just too much. It was just too much, and I just truly did not want to go to school. But she was like, you ain't got no other choice. You either gonna go to school or you gonna go to school. So, I was like, I wanted to go to HBCU. I did not want to go to a PWI. They wanted me to go to a PWI. Me personally, I did not want to go to a PWI because I went to a predominantly white school all my life. I went to a private school, and then I went to, what's the name of that school? I went to a predominantly white. I went to a Catholic middle school, or junior high, so to speak. I went to a Catholic junior high, and then I went to y'all, what I be doing my stuff. And then I went to a public high school, which was crazy because that adjustment was just stupid, insane. Because I really didn't know nobody. I had to meet people from scratch. But the thing with that was, like, I knew right then and there. I was like, because I had been asking my mom, like, Mom, I want to go to a black high school. She was like, no. I'm like, all right. So I just kind of, like, let it go, type of ordeal. I just kind of let it go. I was like, all right, whatever. But I knew once I got to college, I'm like, at that point, like, this is where I'm going to be for 4 years. I knew I did not want to be nowhere close to home. Like, I wanted to be my own type of person. So I was like, I want to go to a HBCU. I wanted to go to Jackson State. I wanted to go to Alabama State because I wanted to dance. I wanted to be a honeybee. Like, I wanted to dance. That was one of my dreams, like, to dance at a collegiate level. But you know, at a lot of these schools, you have to literally look like a toothpick. Like, you gotta be smaller than this. You gotta be smaller than that to go to like to dance for real. Like, and y'all know I'm not making this up. So it was like, you know, I knew I wasn't gonna be that small. Girl, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, girl, no, I knew I was never gonna get that small. But, you know, seeing honeybees, like, I was like, okay, like, they got something that's, you know, made for us. Now, the only thing that shied me away from Alabama State was the fact that I have to pay my tuition. And because I am in Louisiana, I get TOPS. TOPS is a thing for Louisiana high schools. That's really how they be getting people to stay here in Louisiana and go to school in Louisiana, because they will pay a certain portion of your tuition depending on what your ACT score was. So I was getting like nearly $3,000 for me to go to school down here. So I was like, okay, well, the only two, you know, black schools here in Louisiana is literally Grambling and Southern. If you know me, you know, like, I'm from Louisiana, so that's literally up the road from Grambling. So you probably like, girl, why you just didn't go to Grambling? You like real close. I did not want to be close to home because I felt like I would get stuck. I felt like I wouldn't want to go anywhere. I wouldn't want to do anything. Like, and I'm not saying like I'm running away from my family, but I knew like the kind of dreams and the stuff that I wanted to do. Like, me being close to home, I feel like I still would have been sheltered. I wouldn't have really learned nothing for real on my own. So I was like, no, I'm going to go to Southern. I fell in love with the band. I fell in love with the dancing dolls. I fell in love with, you know, all that. And, you know, just seeing all these different things at Southern, you know, that's what really made me fall in love with Southern. So I knew right then and there, before my senior year, I said, I'm going to Southern. Like, it was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I was going to Southern. You know, it was 3 hours away from home, which isn't bad. Like, it's a commute, but it's not bad. You know, I don't have no problems with it. Now, mind you, at the time, I had no car. So, for me not to have no car and not have no problems with going 3 hours away is crazy. But, hey, hey, don't judge. But, yeah, like, I immediately just fell in love with Southern. And that's just what it was. So, once I decided, I guess I'm going to go to school, you know, I went ahead and, oh, that's my song. You know, I went ahead, I applied, I got accepted, whatever. So I started preparing to come out here to Southern. And I was nervous, just because of the simple fact that, like, I am far from home. So if something did happen, I did have to come home, you know, it was pretty scary. But, you know, I was just like, hey, it is what it is. You know, that's my first time being away from home. You know, I knew when I got older, I didn't want to live in Louisiana. So it's like, once you get older and you move, you gonna be sitting there scared. Like, you know, you got to move. So that was like my real first time really moving and just, you know, doing what I do. Once I got to Southern, like I said, really difficult adjustment. Before I went to school, I was working like 2 jobs, you know, whatever the case may be. But it was just like, it was so difficult because I had to make all new friends. And it's just like, you meet people from everywhere. Like, this is not just no, oh, I'm from this side of town. I'm from this side of town. Like, you meeting people from all over, you know, type of ordeal. And then it's like, all of us are black. And so, you know, it was very difficult. My first 2 semesters, my first semester was actually fun. Like, I didn't really get out much, but once I started hanging out with my very first friend, like, I met people in group chats, but I didn't really click with them in group chats because they was on some different type of time. And half of them that was up in them group chats ain't even come back to Southern. But hey, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, like, I couldn't, like, I don't know. I don't vibe with everybody for real. Like, when I see what kind of time you on and what you really here for, I like, you here for all these, you here for the niggas, girl. I don't want, no, that's not what I'm here for. Like, I'm here to have a good time, yes. But I'm also here to get an education. I'm not here for them. You know, like, I knew that. And the goal at the time was to graduate early. I was fortunate enough to get into a dual enrollment program in high school. So I was supposed to graduate class 2022. I'm gonna tell you why that didn't happen as we get, more into this story. I just feel like I haven't talked to y'all in a long time. So now now that I've graduated, I can really reflect how I want to, because it's all over with. It's all over with. So yeah, that ended up happening, right? So I'm just like, I really wasn't vibing with people. My roommate, she was like an introvert, but she was cool people. Some of the people in the group chat, like I said, I couldn't vibe with them. So it was what it was. It is what it is. I mean, I don't know what else to say. So like after that, like one of my first friends were my suite mates. One of the girls I've been knew, for like since the group chat, and then the other girl, I just met her, and me and her, like, we kicked it off very, very well. One of my first friends here at Southern, I was friends with a lot of the older people, more so to speak, like, people that had already been at Southern, because I was in some group chats then, but I was more so cool with them. But, it's like, I need to get cool with somebody in my class, because they're not always going to be here, you know what I'm saying? So, I was cool with them, whatever. But, yeah, she was, like, my very first, like, friend. But, y'all, like, the classes, first of all, when you used to eat me up about Southern, I used to have to walk everywhere. Before I got my vehicle, I used to have to walk everywhere. And so that walking everywhere was not it for me, y'all. Like, that was not it. So having to walk to class and walk here and walk there, like, that's really why I did not get out my dorm. I was so lazy, y'all. Don't be like me. Like, go out to stuff, but, like, y'all, I just couldn't get into it. Like, for real, all that walking, like, that was not it for me. But hey, but yeah, I used to have to like walk everywhere and stuff like that. So like, I just really wouldn't go nowhere. I would literally just stay in my dorm and just kick with my people. But through all these different people, and like my suite mates were cool, like my actual suite mates, cool, like real cool people. And we all just kind of clicked, and it was just kind of like a family, and I loved that. In my classes, I met different people. I did a pageant my freshman year. I did a dorm queen pageant. And when I did the dorm queen pageant, like, I met a lot of people. One of them being, she's literally like a sister to me, and she's been like that since I met her. Like, even to this day, like, people think we are really sisters. Even professors used to think we were really sisters. And so, that's how I started really meeting people. But yeah, like my first semester, I really struggled as far as school. I never forget, I had to sit up there and email one of my teachers and like make up this whole horror story because I was failing my class. Like, y'all, I'm not no perfect person. A lot of people like, oh yeah, she went to school, she did this, she did. Girl, I was failing one of my classes, like no cap. I was barely, that class started at 9:30. It was like 9:30 to 10:50. Y'all was getting there at 10:30. I kid you not. I'm getting there at 10:30. No cap. Like, I couldn't get into it. It was a very big adjustment. Having to learn stuff in one semester was a very big adjustment. I'm not a good test taker either. Not in person. Like, I'm not good with that. So that was eating me up too. Like, it was so much. And like, I was just really struggling. Like, I remember one day sitting on my bed doing my biology homework, and I was just crying because I'm like, I can't do this for real. like, I could not get into it, y'all. Like, it was so difficult for me to adjust. Oh, y'all, hold on. Oh, ow. It was so difficult for me to adjust, like, I wanted to quit college right then and there. But, you know, I just kept on going. I made it through the first semester, you know, met a lot of people, whatever. So second semester come around, and it was just crazy because over that break, I was thinking about transferring to Grwm. Crazy, right? So I was thinking about transferring to Grwm because over that break, when I went back home, my grandfather was sick. All right, y'all, we got to sit in silence while I do this because I got to focus. So let me like stop the camera and then we're going to come right back. All right, y'all. So now I'm in. So yeah, but like my first semester, like it was fun. Like we still had fun. We still made everything fun. Like that was my first time getting drunk. Because I was on like a court, because I was a dorm queen, like, you know, we had to be on the court for homecoming. So, you know, I got to participate in that. I did a lot of events, you know, and, you know, went to different events. I performed for the first time, like, in front of a large number of people. Like, yeah, like, I had a lot of fun my freshman year. And to be honest, even though I was struggling school-wise, if I could go back, I would. And y'all, like, we was broke. Like, we was broke. Like, we was freshmen. We didn't have no job. We was relying on refunds, which wasn't much. Like, $1,000 was not much, Bookie. You know, like, we thought that was a little something. We thought we was doing something. We wasn't. But, like, yeah, like, we was just living, bro. Like, we was just living. I had, you know, like, we had made groceries, but, you know, like, when you a freshman, like, you don't have no, what you call it? I'm sorry. You don't have, like, a thing, stovetop in your dorm. I don't know nobody that does. If you do, kudos, like, kudos to you, baby. But at Southern University, girl, please. But yeah, like, we was literally, like, y'all, we was just, like, living, like, just making best with what we had, like, and we always had fun, like, and we wouldn't even be doing nothing for real, but we always had fun. So, like, my first semester, like, even though I was struggling in the classroom, I wouldn't change nothing, like, I had a lot of fun. Did I have boy problems? Of course. For anybody that asked that, like, the men here at Southern, I just, but, like, that was the first person, like, that was my first, he was really my first friend, but, you know, he wasn't really my first friend. Like, he was, like, my first male friend. Like, I knew him before, you know, I came to Southern. We met in a group chat, and we just hit it off from then on, and that was just, like, that was, like, my little boo thing, my first semester, like, for real. That was my little boo, without being my little boo. And, like, that's one thing I did not understand. Like, boys down here, they do not want a relationship with you. I'm telling you right now. Like, I'm a relationship kind of girl, and I've always been that. But, yeah, don't get your hopes set up when you come down here. Like, because a lot of y'all gonna come down here and be like, yeah, I'm having me a man, girl. No, you're not. Anyway, don't just come to college for that, y'all. So, like, I always tell people, when I'm talking to them, I highly suggest that you stay on campus your first semester. Like, that's the best fun that you're going to have. You're going to meet different people. I know people have, like, roommate horror stories. Luckily, I was not one of those people my freshman year. So, because, you know, like, y'all actually share a room together. Like, it's 2 beds and y'all in one room. I was lucky enough to stay in Shade, which is, like, one of the best residential halls on campus for the females. You know, so I really never had no problems out of nothing, for real, truly. But yeah, like, if I could do it all over again, I truly would, y'all. Like, and that's not a lie. I really would do it all over again, because I'm just telling you, like, we didn't know no better. We was young. We were kids, bro. Like, we were kids just doing what kids do, you know? Like, I'm telling you, like, the first time I got drunk, it was hilarious, y'all. We drunk MD. And, like, after that, I never touched MD ever again. Like, I just couldn't. Like, I was scorched, y'all. We had drunk so much MD. Like, we was drunk. Like, I like was throwing up, y'all. It was so bad. Like I definitely, like I said, I would not trade none of that for nothing in the world. But my second semester, that was spring 2020. Um, it was crazy, like I said, because at the time, I was thinking about transferring to Grambling because of the simple fact that my grandfather was sick. Like sick really bad. Like that was our first Christmas where it was just like everybody was just discombobulated because he was sick. So my grandmother was, helping take care of him, and he was sick to the point they transferred him to a whole different hospital, like in a whole nother city. He was that sick. It was really bad, and my sister was like one. I think Kendall had just turned like one. So at the time, I didn't like my mom worked from home, but she really couldn't watch my sister. So like that whole break, I was really watching my sister. And I was scared for her because I'm like, who's going to watch her while I'm gone? Like I just was like thinking about all that because I'm just like, she's not old enough to be in school yet. So, I just didn't want to just leave her there. And then my grandma trying to take care of my granddaddy, Kendall can't be there. Like, it was just so much to think about. So I was like, my best bet is to transfer to Grambling. That way I could be closer to home. Because I was also helping my grandmother take care of my granddaddy. Because my granddaddy was, like, a very special person to me. Like, I didn't have a father growing up, so my granddaddy was like my father. He was like that father figure. He used to pick me up from school, get me whatever I wanted, take me wherever I wanted to go. We used to talk all the time, about school, and like he loved Graham. Like that's hard down where he rep. And I just I couldn't get with it, and I told him that I get with it or get lost. I got lost, I couldn't do it. But, because of the simple fact of his condition, I was, like, I think I'm going to transfer to Grambling, in the spring because this is just it was too much on everybody. And I'm like, yeah, think about myself, but I'm not going to think about myself when my family's in need. You know what I'm saying? So, that was the plan. And once he got out of the hospital, like, it was bad to the point, and I knew it was bad when I needed to, leave because the last day, like the day that I was supposed to leave, he had a doctor's appointment. And, like, he was so out of it, like, he didn't even know what was going on. He didn't even know I was leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a lot. Like, he couldn't walk. It was just too much going on. And it just made me real sad. Like, I was crying. Because I'm like, bro, like, I don't want to leave them in this kind of, like, condition. Because, I always took care of, like, the older people in my life. Like, my great-grandmother, I used to take care of her. When my grandma was at work, when my grandmother was sick, I, took care of her when she had surgery. I used to stay at the hospital with her. Like, I'm real big on stuff like that. So, anytime it came to him, like, I was, always making sure that I would help out even when my grandmother couldn't, or, even if she was helping, I would help her out because, what is that? Like, I love my family like that. But it was just crazy because I literally left. I left, y'all. I left. I came down here. I got settled in back into my dorm or whatever. I was down here for like 2 days, right? So I think I moved in on a Monday. School started on a Wednesday. So I moved in on a Monday. I moved in. I'm back with my friends. We chilling, catching up, going to like basketball games, just having fun, just doing what we do. And literally, school started that Wednesday, y'all. It was so hot. It was something different about that day. Because, y'all, it was so hot outside. Like, it had never been that hot. And I remember, I texted my people because, like, me and my people got group chat. And I'm like, y'all, it's hot out here. Like, I don't even remember it being this hot in the fall. Like, it's hot out here. And so, it was just something about that day that had just drained me, y'all. Like, I just couldn't even. It had drained me. And I had called that day before, to check on my people, whatever, let them know I had got settled in. But we sitting there texting like everything's all cool, right? So, um, that night, I'm with my friends. We trying to get our room together, all that other stuff. So literally, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had got into it with some little boy that I was talking to at the time, and he had like really made me mad. I didn't even want to talk to him. But like after that, mind you, I'm over here booed up with my other little boo from school. Crazy, right? Uh, insane, y'all. So, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And so my mom calls me at 3 o'clock. I'm like, why is my mom calling me? I'm thinking my mom calling me on accident. So at that time, I was trying to go to sleep because we had classes the next day. And so, when she called me, I'm like, yeah. She was like, don't freak out. I'm like, what's wrong? So that immediately made me freak out because I'm like, why are you telling me not to freak out? Like, you just called me and that's the first thing you say. Like, don't freak out. And I'm like, what's the problem? So when she called me, she's just like, don't freak out. So I hop out the bed. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And so at that point, like, I'm sitting up in the bed. My roommate is asleep. And all of a sudden, she's just like, Papa died. And I'm like, when I tell y'all my world shattered when she said those words, because I'm like, what you mean he died? Like, what are you talking about? So at that point, like, I'm crying and I'm trying not to make a fuss because my roommate, she sleeps. So I'm like, I'm trying not to make this big ordeal. And she on the phone talking about he died. I'm like, what are we talking about? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why is she telling me this late at night? Like, I just couldn't even deal. And she was like, basically my uncle had posted it on Facebook. And she didn't want me to get on Facebook and see it. She wanted to tell me first, but she was also scared to tell me because everybody knew how close I was with my granddaddy, like everybody. So she didn't want to tell me because she knew that would just like do something to me. Because everybody know I'm a very emotional person. Like even when I'm angry, I'm emotional, and I'm not emotional because like you hurt me, but I'm emotional because I just really want to kill you right now. But I'm a child of God, I'm not gonna break the 10 Commandments. But Lord, if I could, if we had a purge day, it was a couple people, but that I would beat up. But I just forgive, like the Lord said. But yeah, so she tell me that and I'm freaking out, y'all. Like I'm in the hallway, I'm crying. I'm like, what happened? And they telling me what happened. I'm talking to my grandmother, like she crying, I'm crying. It was a big mess, y'all. It was just a big ordeal, and I just didn't know what to do. Like I'm hitting the wall. Like y'all ever see Lifetime movies where people just like they be crying, they be banging on the wall, and they be screaming? Like that was me. Like I felt like I was in a movie. And so my roommate ended up coming out. I'm in the hallway, y'all. I'm not even in the suite. I'm in the hallway, and she heard me, and she just like trying to help me. And my mom was like, put her on the phone. She was like, make sure that she go to class. I'm like, I gotta come home. Like I'm 3 hours away. I need to come home. And she was like, no, I want you to go to school tomorrow. We're gonna come get you, whatever, go to class, whatever. And so, at that point, like, I couldn't sleep. I'm crying, but I didn't want to, like, wake up my roommate. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for a walk. So, like, I literally, like, it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking the campus just crying because I'm like, I just lost my grandfather. I'm 3 hours away. Like, I just talked about going to Grambling, and it's just, like, all of a sudden. And it's just, like, maybe that was God's way of saying, like, I need to stay where I was at because I had a lot in store for me down here. But I wasn't thinking about that. Like, I was not thinking about that. So, like, first day of class, basically, I lost my grandfather. And I was just all this type of combobulated. And I'm like, I don't see how students go, like, I always would say, like, I really hope that I never lose somebody close to me while I'm in school. Just because of the fact that I am so far away. And that was one of my biggest fears, like, before he even got sick for real, that was one of my biggest fears was losing somebody close to me while I'm in school. Because I'm like, I'm not going to perform well. I'm barely performing well now. I'm not going to perform well if something happens to somebody that I love. I just know I'm not. I went home. And it just took, like, y'all, it just took everything out of me. It was a lot going on. Like, that funeral, I was cutting up. Like, they thought I was out. Like, that was when I realized I had anxiety real bad. I was hyperventilating. Like, they had to call the ambulance. It was a lot. It was just a lot, y'all. It was a whole lot. So, that ended up happening. And when I came back to school, like, it's just like I had no choice but to be around people just because I had suite mates. And I had a roommate, and, like, me and my roommate, we shared the same, like, mutual friends. And we were all cool, but it was just, like, I really didn't want to be around nobody, y'all. Like, I really didn't. I just wanted to be in my own space. Like, school was not getting it, and I was taking this really hard teacher at the time. Like, if anybody know, if I ever talk about Thelma, or if I have ever talked about Thelma, like, I was taking her at the time, and she was, like, she was knocking me loose. I'm not even gonna hold you. Thelma was knocking me loose, for real. Like, girl, I used to complain to my auntie about that lady all the time because she didn't make no sense. Like, she made no type of sense, y'all. But I couldn't get back into it. Like, I remember my sweet mate, she was talking to her grandfather one day on the phone, and y'all, like, I just stepped out the room because I just started busting out crying. Somebody seen me, and they was like, what's wrong? And I was like, you know, like, she's on the phone with her grandfather. Like, I can't take that because I don't have a grandfather to call. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, stuff like that. Like, it just used to cause me to have a flare-up. And she was like, you know, she came in there and she was like, I'm sorry. She's like, I was like, no, like, I'm not knocking you for talking to your grandfather. It's just, you know, right now, everybody know, like, I don't have my grandfather no more. So I can't just, you know, call, and if I want to, you know, talk to him, whatever, like, and I think that was one of, like, my biggest things was I rarely called home just because, like, I just be, I be in my own little world trying to get my own stuff together, but when I did, like, you know, I would always want to talk to him or whatever, you know, make sure he was doing good. He would, you know, give me some advice, make sure I'm still doing what I needed to do, or whatever the case may be. Like, I remember one time I couldn't afford my books for school. Like, I could not afford my books. And I was telling my people, like, I have to pay for these books for school, but I don't have the money. And, like, nobody had the money for me to pay for my books. And my uncle told my grandma, and I didn't even know that he knew, like, because I didn't tell him nothing. And my granddaddy calls me, and he was like, so you got textbooks, like, you need paid for it? And I was like, yes, sir. Like, I got textbooks that I need for class. I was like, but I can't afford it. He was like, why you didn't call and tell us? He was like, I would have, you know, got somebody to get you the money so that you can get your textbooks. And I was like, you know, I feel like I don't want to call y'all and ask y'all for money because I don't call home, like, every day. Like, you know, I call when I call, but I don't call home every day. You know, like, doing me to just be asking you for money. But, yeah, like, more of the story, this is getting off track. More of the story, yeah, I lost my grandfather, and it just took a lot out of me. But then it was, like, right after that, like, I was still going strong because I'm like, I know he would want me to, you know, finish school and not really worry about it. And I just more so focused on myself after that because it was a lot going on. I didn't want to be in my room, so I would go to my friend's room. Now, all of a sudden, we in the boys' dorm, and there's a thing going on, like, there's a broadcast going on. And they were like, yeah, there's a virus. And I'm like, a virus? So, like, we're not thinking it's no big deal. We have been there, you know, kidding, joking, having fun, you know, doing what we do. And all of a sudden, we get emails saying we have to be moved out of, you know, the dorms because of COVID. So that's when COVID first struck. And I was like, y'all, COVID took everything. Like, when I say COVID took everything. COVID took everything. Like, COVID was not no joke. So, like, I had to pack up all my stuff. My mom came to come get me, and I went back home. It was very difficult just because, like, I'm back home and my grandfather just passed. But, you know, I still made it work. And at that time, I felt like I was, I hate when I do that. So now I gotta go back in. Did I put it up? Oh my. So at that time, I was really in my prime. That's really when I started really focusing on YouTube, really doing YouTube, doing like, my fashion videos and stuff like that, doing makeup tutorials, doing hair tutorials. That's really when I was in my prime with YouTube. I had a series, a college series, for people that were interested in coming to Southern, just giving them advice that I wish I had. And I feel like I still need to make a video like that, even though I have graduated, because now I done learned a little something more. And Southern has changed. It has progressed over these like last 2-3 years. So I was like really in my prime. I was getting unemployment. I was rich in my eyes. And at the time, I should have invested that. But, young, dumb, young, dumb, and broke, just young and dumb. Just doing what I want to do with the money. Yeah. Why did I do that? So, yeah, girl. So, that was that. That had happened. But I was really in my prime. My business was thriving during COVID. I was like, my business was thriving. It was doing really well. My business never did well. It did well, during that time. My YouTube was doing well. I was, doing all these different kind of things, just making boss moves, getting to the money, getting to the bag. And I was doing good over COVID. Staying at home was not a problem for me. I had no issues with staying at home. Like that was just, I really had no problems with staying at my house. Like, for real. Like, I was really chilling. Like, because I'm a homebody naturally. I'm not big on going out. Like, I'll go out when I want to, but I'm not big on going out. It's not something that I'm just like, oh, I gotta go out. Like, no, I'm not one of those type of people. I like to stay at home. I'm a really big homebody. But, yeah, so child COVID happened, and I was truly living my best life. I don't know about y'all, but Kennedy Ariana Henson was living her best life. So that was that. Came back from COVID, went back to school, and by far that had to start being one of the hardest semesters once again, just because it was COVID. So we were online, but I still stayed on campus. Campus was on a really big lockdown because the freshmen, like, they did not know how to act, y'all. Like, I'm telling you, like, they did not know how to act. I don't even know what class that was, but that class did not know how to act. And they caused a lot of things for us. Like, a lot of people caught COVID. They was having parties and stuff, so that just caused a lot of extra ruckus for us that we didn't need. And it was like extra media and attention on Southern University at the time, and they was just not having that. So, like, they started getting real strict. If you didn't have a key to get into an apartment or a little thingy on campus, you wasn't getting on campus, like, per SUPD. Like, it was a lot. It was truly a lot. It was really too much. In my opinion, like, I remember one day I tried to get on campus and my homegirl tried to drop me off, and the lady was like, no, she don't have a key, because she was the driver and she didn't have a key. Like, she would not let her bring me on campus. Like, I had to walk to my dorm. One time I got stuck at her apartment because we truly could not get on the campus. Like, it was yeah. Child, I used to have to sneak my friends in the trunk of my car. Like, when we used to sneak people on campus during COVID, I used to sneak people in the trunk of my car and have them duck. Cause like, my car is really big. So, yeah, I used to sneak people on the campus, just doing fun stuff. But I have truly had fun. That was my first on-campus apartment. I loved it. Like, truly, I did not mind staying in my on-campus apartment, y'all. Like, don't get me wrong. But what used to get me was me having to move out at the end of every semester. I just think that's stupid. Like, if you have an apartment on campus, then you should be able to stay in your apartment during the breaks. Like, having to move all that stuff out of my apartment every 4 months, like, was so stupid to me. And it used to, honestly and truly, piss me off. So, I thought I was grown. And I'll admit it. If my mom watching this, she gonna be like, yeah, I told you whatever else she be saying. But I thought I was grown, and I was like, I want to get a real apartment. Now, how that came about was, after that year, I think that was like my sophomore/junior year of college. At the time, I had made some new friends, and you know, we all used to kick it. If y'all been rocking with me, y'all know I did some videos with Sid and Drew and them. Like, we all used to have fun. Like, during COVID, we all used to have fun. I remember my first time really getting a lot of backlash was when I did this smash or pass video on some boys at Southern, and people did not take that well just because of the commentary behind the video. It was a lot. Yeah, I got a lot of feedback, a lot of, from that. And at the time, I was interested in being Greek, and I was like, it was, Greek guys on there. So I'm like, y'all finna ruin all my chances of even being Greek. Like, everybody just shut up. Everybody just shut up. I don't even want to hear it. But, I was still cool. I was still good. But, yeah, so that semester, like, I had made a lot of new friends, had a lot of fun, like, even though it was still COVID. Because at that time, like, COVID was still, like, peaking. Because, the highest peak was, like, early 2020 going into the summer. But, like, closer to 2021, it just kind of started to slow down. So, it was still, like, it was peaking, but it wasn't bad. So, then, my spring semester, I ended up pledging. I ended up being Greek. I crossed Sigma Gamma Rho, if y'all didn't know. I didn't know if I wanted to say it or not. But y'all know. I'm SG Rho. Yeah, and I ended up crossing Beta Alpha at Southern University. And yeah, like, that was fun too. Like, that, my process was some BS, but it was fun. I will admit that. Like, if I could go back to that, I'd go back. But, like, yeah, like, that's when everything just really changed for me. Because once you go Greek, like, especially for me, it was a big thing because I didn't expect, like, we were the biggest line at the time. We were the biggest line Beta Alpha had ever had. We were a line of 10. And it was crazy because I was not expecting that. I was expecting just me. But, that was a blessing from God. Thank God that I crossed with my line sisters. Because, like, those are the most genuine, sweetest people I know. Like, for real. Like, even when they get on my nerves, even when, anything has ever happened, like, they've always had my back and I will always have theirs. We've gone through a lot together, and I just feel like I wouldn't want to go through that with nobody else besides them. And, like, I'm just very much so grateful that I have them. Anyway, so it's like I have, genuine people in my corner, so I'm very much so thankful for them. So, that semester I crossed, and after that, like, that's when I really started having fun. I feel like I started having fun later in college. A lot of people start having fun that freshman year just because it's freshman year. So they started having fun their freshman year. I started having fun my junior year. We used to get drunk, y'all. Like, it's this place called Oasis. They don't have it no more, but it was here in Baton Rouge. Y'all, like, when I say we used, boy, what? Every Wednesday, they had, like, college Wednesdays, $5 margaritas. Mind y'all, I'm still underage at this point in time. But y'all, what I used to do was I used to have cause here in Louisiana we got something called LA Wallet. So I used to make up some. I had screenshotted my LA Wallet and I changed my birthday. So hey, little secret I can tell it now. I'm 22 and grown. So yeah, I screenshotted my LA Wallet and changed my birthday because my birthday is in December. So I would just like take the one off and make it seem like I was born in February. So that it would seem like, okay, well, she's already of the age. Child. My mom probably watching this like, wow. She learns something new about me every day. Yeah, but we used to go out there to college Wednesdays and like, boy, like I was just talking to my coworker today and I was just thinking about all that stuff. Like, boy, we had some times, y'all. Like, for real, we had some real times. Like, we had, boy, what, y'all. I wouldn't want to have no memories with nobody else. Like, for real. But yeah, so I had crossed in the spring, and I decided to be grown, and get me an apartment because I was like, I'm tired of moving out. No way, I just did that. At that point in time, I was just tired of, what is going on? What is going on? I was tired of moving my stuff out every 4 months, y'all. I really was. So I decided to be gone and get me an apartment. Mistake, but not a big mistake. I moved off campus, and that required me to get a job because then I had to pay my rent. Yes, I got a refund, but I knew I wasn't gonna be responsible. I just knew it. I don't feel like I got real responsible with my life until I just graduated. And here's why. At the time, I was working a job. I worked at a daycare in Zachary. Child, probably one of the worst things I could have ever did. Just because, y'all, like, I just thought I was so grown. I thought I was making a good decision. And in all reality, I was not. It was just, child, yeah. Yeah. Ended up getting that job there, moving off campus. So at that point, essentially, I rarely went home just because I had a job. That fall semester really broke me because I put things first that didn't need to be first. And it really broke me, including in my GPA. It really broke me. So I had to really get myself together. There were times where I was just like, it was a time, during that point in time, I was very depressed. That's how I ended up getting all these tattoos, y'all. Like, I swear I did not have all these tattoos. I literally got one tattoo, and then next thing you know, I got 7 more. And it was just basically because I was depressed, and I didn't know how else to cope. I used to cut myself when I was, like, when it got really, really bad, I used to cut myself. I no longer do that, but yeah, I used to do that. But then I started getting tattoos, and that's just how that came about. Yeah, that's just how that came about. I got a lot of piercings, but I had piercings beforehand, but I really don't think I got no new piercings since then. I think I only got one, and that was this one. But it was more so tattoos. I dyed my hair. Like, if y'all seen that video, y'all know I dyed my hair. I was depressed. Y'all, I was truly depressed. I was just going through it. Like, I was truly just going through it. So, yeah, that was that. But that was by far one of my worst semesters. It was like my worst and my best. I don't know why I do this first, just to have to go back in, because that concealer ends up getting on my like my stuff, and I don't like that. Um, but yeah, child. Yeah, I just started going through all kinds of things. Like I remember I missed my final, y'all. I missed my final. My whole final. And he would not let me take it. And I made some excuse. I was like, um, I was late because I was late, and it was just because I could not get up. And I told him it was because uh I said my roommate had overdosed. That was my excuse. My roommate had overdosed, and I had to call 911. And yeah, he ended up passing me, but child, yeah, I told him my roommate had overdosed, and I had to help her, and this, that, and the third. Yeah, so I missed my midterm. I mean my final. He ended up still passing me, but like yeah, it was just like after that I was really going through it. Then like I did a lot of work in my sorority, so I ended up doing within like 2 years. I ended up doing 6 consecutive step shows. One being homecoming and Bayou Classic that fall semester, then doing um I did rituals in the spring, and then I went to Indiana and did Centennial, then came back and did another homecoming show and another Bayou Classic show. So in the midst of school, I was stepping because I was on the step team, but I was also just trying to be active in my sorority and just make sure that I'm showing up, and doing what I need to do because I wanted us to, grow tremendously. So I was still trying to do that, and I think at the time I just didn't have a really good balance in life. I didn't know how to balance out life. I didn't know how to balance out like my social life with my sorority life with my work life. Like I did not know how to do that, and I think that's what really had took me over. Like that's really had took me over, and that's just what it was. At the end of that semester, I got in a relationship with a guy who he did not go to Southern. Got in a relationship with him, and yeah, I was happy, y'all. I was happy. Like my friends was like, "Where's Kennedy?" Like it was like a "Where's Waldo" kind of moment because Kennedy was nowhere to be found. Mookie, like I was with my man. Like I would not. I stopped going out. Like for real. Like I stopped going out, and I would just like they'd be like, "Where Ken?" Oh, Ken at home. She didn't want to go out. And then they called me, Ken, why you not going out? I'm on the phone with my man. Like it was a long distance relationship, and I was on the phone with my man. For real, like that was my man. So yeah, I was in a relationship. I was happy. Whatever. Well, like I had flew out there to go see him. Around time of my birthday. That was like my birthday present. And we had spent time together or whatever. So yeah, like I was real happy in my relationship. Whatever the case may be. And then like when the next semester started, before the next semester had started, he actually had came down here, because he's from here, and he had came down here to see me, whatever the case may be. And yeah, like, we spent a lot of time there. I let him meet my family, just meet my people, because if I let you meet my people, that means I'm serious about you. But, like, at that age, like, I'm just like, we're in college. Like, well, I'm in college. He was in the military. But I'm just like, I want to get married, and that was the relationship that I was like, this is my husband. Like, this is my husband. This is my husband. Nobody else is my husband, but this is my husband. Like, I knew he was getting married. And yeah, let him meet my people, he stayed out here for like 2 weeks, and that was just a joy for me. Like, I stayed inside. Like, if I was not at work, I was with my boyfriend. Like, that's just what it was. So I had gotten into my first relationship ever in college. Because the whole time I was in college, I was never in a relationship. I had a couple situationships, but I was never in a relationship. And yeah, that's just what that was. Then the semester started, and I was doing great. Like, I was doing fine. I was having, like, my own, struggles or whatever, but it was nothing I couldn't manage, nothing that, had ever not happened before. Long story short, he ended up breaking up with me. And at that time, it was very hard for me because that was my first relationship straight out of college, and I just felt like, that was my husband. Like I keep saying, like, I'm looking at myself through here, and I look crazy. But I know once I set my face, I'm not gonna look crazy. So if I look crazy on the camera, like, don't mind it, because I don't look crazy in real life. That's so crazy to me. That's so crazy to me. Or either I just really contoured the heck out of my face. Yeah, but he broke up with me, and it just, y'all, like, it took a lot out of me. Because I shared a lot of special moments with him. And, I put a lot of effort and energy into that relationship. And it was like my first relationship in like 4 years, guys. Like, be for real. That was my first relationship in like 4 years. So he was definitely someone very special to me. And for him to break up with me like that just really took a lot out of me. So yeah, that was that. So when he broke up with me, it took a lot out of me. That's when everything just started. By far, 2022 was like the worst shit I had ever had, because like it was worse than losing my grandfather. I promise y'all. Because after he broke up with me, it took a lot for me to get back, to myself. Like, I was crying in my bed every day. I was very depressed. Like, it was just a lot. It was just like, I didn't know how to go on about stuff. I didn't want to talk to nobody else. Like, guys wanted to talk to me. I did not want to talk to them. I don't know why that eyebrow be looking like that. I hate that. I did not want to talk to them. I didn't want nothing to do with them. So I just poured myself into school. I poured myself into, hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. And they were a really big reason why I just kind of got through it. Because there were times I didn't want to be at home by myself. And they just really helped me get through it. Like, for real. But then the next month I got into some legal trouble. Literally almost went to jail. And it was just, that had to be the most horrific thing that had ever happened to me. For real. Because I almost went to jail. The cops almost came and knocked at my door. I almost went to jail behind a situation that I cannot discuss. But, yeah, I almost went to jail. And it took a lot out of me. I really had a really big support team, a really big village. Like, my line sisters, my friends, my advisor. Like, my advisor was like a second mother to me. My co-advisors, they were like aunties to me. They really stepped in and helped me so much. Because it's so much that I was just like going through that I just could not have done without them. So, big shout outs to them. But yeah, I got into some really bad legal trouble. It caused my grades to fall tremendously, y'all. Like, if my GPA was never bad, like, it was bad. I was at my lowest at that point in time. Like, I wanted to jump off the bridge. Like, I was literally at my lowest, y'all. And like I said, had it not been for them and like their support and like their help, I don't think I would have really made it through that. For real. And it was just like, it's certain things that you cannot tell your parents. Like, I don't think, my mom doesn't fully know the story. And now she probably gonna ask me after she watched this video. But like, it was just something I could not discuss with my mom because, your parents, they have such high hopes for you. They're like, yeah, I want you to go to school. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Like, they have such high hopes for you. And they don't expect you to mess up. Or, like, if you mess up, like, you just kind of want to keep it a secret. That was me. And I was like, I cannot call my people about this. Because I know she's going to go off. Because every time, like, when I got my apartment, she was like, I sent you to school to go to school and do this and do that. da 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 da, and it's just like it's a big ordeal for her. So it was just like I did not want to talk to my mom when all this was going down. I could not talk to her. Like it just, I felt like the biggest disappointment ever, and it was just like days I was scared to like wake up for real, cause it was always something. I was all over the place that semester, and that was by far my worst semester. I ended up like abusing alcohol and stuff like that. Like, girl, it's a real big thing. But my GPA ended up dropping to, I had a 2.0, I think, that semester. And the only reason I had a 2.0 was because one of my professors, she loves me dearly. She gave me a B. And it wasn't like I had C's, D's, or F's. D's or F's. I had all C's, but I was only taking 12 credit hours. So that caused my stuff to drop tremendously. So once I got out of that situation and I started really getting back to myself, I just made a promise to myself after that summer that I'm more so going to focus on me and everything that I have going on, because that was just too much. And I was going into my senior year of college. So, I was already kind of in my senior year, but I just, yeah. So after that, over the summer is when I ended up being gracious enough to go to Centennial and go STEP. Great experience. Wouldn't trade that for nothing in the world. But when I got back from Centennial, I got sick. Now, around this time, I had just switched jobs, so I was struggling financially, to pay my bills. I was struggling financially. I couldn't pay for stuff like my food to go in the house. I had to pay for extra things. I had a parking ticket that needed to be paid for. Like, it just got bad. It got really bad. And when I had COVID, it was just like God was just not on my side at that point in time. And that's how I felt, because, if you know me, like, I'm a Christian for real. I'm very heavy on what God has planned for you is what he has planned for you, no matter what it is. But in that time, I was like, so, yeah. Girl, when I got COVID, I just felt like everything was just going downhill because I couldn't do... All right. I done broke my eyelash. Girl. But it's like I couldn't work. I couldn't go, like DoorDash and stuff like that. I couldn't do nothing. So my bills had to get paid somehow. They got paid though. But yes, child, girl. I had went through it. And then when school started back, I was like, you know what? This semester, I just need to refocus. And that's exactly what I did. I started, just being very, more positive, and, kind of went, on a healing journey. So, my GPA, after that semester, I had, a 3 point something. It was over 3.0. I was doing good in school. And I just really took care. I still had fun. Don't get me wrong. I still had fun. I still went out. But I didn't go out as much. I used to prioritize that instead of school. And that was my problem. So, I just prioritized things that need to be prioritized. Because I needed to graduate. And I was going to graduate. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Kennedy was going to graduate. So, that semester, I met a lot of new friends, my brothers. I literally met my brothers. I literally met them. We had fun. We did all types of stuff. We still had fun. We still went out. We still partied. We still turned up. We used to have, we developed these family dinners. We used to have family dinner on Sundays. That semester, if I could go back to not last semester, but, my fall semester last year, I definitely would. That was one of my best semesters, and that was when I really, as far as, relationships, I did not want to be in a relationship with anybody else. I tried with someone that had really, he really had been trying to talk to me for a very long time, and I never gave him the time of day just because of, immaturity. And when I did try to talk to him, his little girlfriend had texted me and was like, yeah, he got a girlfriend, and I'm like, when did he get a girlfriend? Because I didn't know about you. But she was being real petty because I knew her from high school, and I'm just like, girl, gone on. So after that, like, I definitely didn't want to talk to nobody because that was just too much for me. And then, yeah, I was just like living my life for real. I was having fun. Going into that next semester, I just really had to buckle down because I knew I was graduating and I had a lot of stuff. Ooh, yeah, I had a lot of stuff that needs to get done. I had stuff that I had to do. Like, that was my final semester. Gracious enough, like, I had fun, but I was just more so focused on school my last 2 semesters. So it was just like, it was nothing like rah, but I was just, more so focused on that. I was stupid lucky. I was the vice president my senior year for my sorority. In my chapter, I was the vice president. And I was gracious enough to bring out a beautiful line of 20 girls. And it was just wonderful. And by the time that time came, because, like, I was so consumed with that in school, like, I didn't want to do nothing else. I had too much going on. So, by the time that kind of came around, like, it was time to graduate. And I ended up graduating with honors, 3.0 GPA, thank God. Yeah. So, I graduated with honors. I graduated May 12th with my bachelor's degree in business management. One of, like, probably my biggest accomplishments. And it's like, even though I did not want to go to college, I'm thankful for it because there's so many things that I needed to learn throughout my college experience. And I'm so grateful for the people that I've met. So I'm like, for the people that don't want to go to college, college is not for everybody. But if you start out, I say at least try and finish. At least give it a shot because you don't know, like, it's so many connections that I have made, through personal connections, sorority connections, like, it's so many things. I met Fantasia, y'all, my last semester. I met Fantasia. She is my soror. And I met her. So it's like, it's so many things that I have learned throughout, college. So I'm just like, don't be quick to give up on it because, baby, Lord knows I was so quick to give up on college. But I wouldn't trade none of my experiences for nothing in the world because those are the experiences that make you into who you are. And I just, like, even though some of them were, like, life or death situations, like, I still came out on top. And I still graduated. And now I am moving to Georgia. I'm actually moving to Georgia next month. So, let me turn this. I'm moving to Georgia next month by the grace of God. And I am now going to pursue my dreams of going to cosmetology school. So it's like big things needed to happen then, and that's why I say I feel like I really did not grow into being very responsible until now because it's like now like after college, I'm not gonna lie, life really hits you. Like all you're doing is working. You're not registered for classes, no more refunds. Like you gotta get to the bag. And so it's like I wish I would have got responsible then, but it's like, I'm getting responsible now and I'm, taking accountability for everything that's going on now. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, so I'm done with my makeup. I know I'm probably super late. I need to go ahead and get dressed so I can go. But that was just like a life update, kind of like going through my college life. And like I said, all this is going to be like unedited, raw, unfiltered, not edited because I did a lot of talking like the entire time. So I know I don't want to miss out on nothing. But yeah, like thank you guys for definitely sitting here. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, like you were very interested in my life. But like that was my entire college life. Like there are some more like behind the scenes nitty gritty details, but that's stuff that I just don't think I want to share with you guys. But more of the story, guys. Even if you don't go to college, you're going to go through stuff in life, and it's just out of your control. You just have to do the best of what you can with everything that is going on. And just make the best out of life. If you are going to school, you are attending a college, I always tell everyone, you're like, I know a lot of people don't want to stay on campus and you're scared to go to school. Don't be. You're going to make friends regardless, no matter who you are. You're going to make friends with people. Some people you're going to think that they're your friends and they're not. You learn lessons, blessings. It's a lot. It's a lot of different things that I've learned in college that I definitely would not take for granted. It's a lot of people that I have met that even if we don't talk to this day, I definitely would not take it for granted. So I definitely just say, like, if you are going to school, if you are a freshman, or if you're just, like, getting back in the habit of going back to school, like, definitely just be you, and you're going to meet, like, being you will attract people that you need to, like, that need to be in your life. Like, I have friends that I don't talk to every day, but I still, when we on the phone, we can talk for a good little group. If I run into them in person, we can talk for a good little group. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's a lot of different people that I've met, a lot of different things that I have learned, and a lot of different experiences that I have partaken in that I definitely just would not change for nothing in the world. You think it's like the worst, the lowest, you think all this stuff, but in reality, it's just a part of your life. It's your life. Everything's not going to go perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nothing in anybody's life has ever gone perfect. But you just have to make do with what you got to make do with. And you just got to make the best of it. And just grow and learn from it. Like, that's the best thing I could tell you because that's what I did. As you can see, I went through some stuff. Like, on the outside looking in, it's like, oh, like, listen to this video. And you'll see, I really went through a lot of stuff. Truly. But, you know, yeah. So I just definitely wanted to, like, give y'all a life update because I have not talked to y'all in a long time, and I just kind of wanted to share, like, my experiences in college up until now. Now that I've graduated, I can finally just share with y'all everything that I've gone through since I've gone to Southern. And like I said, I just definitely wouldn't trade any of it for anything in the world. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this get ready with me chit chat kind of ordeal. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to my channel. Click post bell notification bell. That way you should be notified every time I post a new video. I do have a new moving series coming out since I just told y'all I'm moving to Georgia. But I do have a movie series that I'm finna be pushing through, so be on the lookout for that. I'm trying to post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have not been able to do that, but this video will get me kind of more caught up. I took a week hiatus, so next week we'll try and get caught up. But yeah, guys, so I'll see you guys in my next freaking video. Bye.